Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. It's 2024. PCPer is back after a week off, and we hope you had a restful, delightful holiday, free of illness. All of us are sick or have been, but
it's fine.
We're podcasting anyway because we haven't been ordered to stop yet.
Yeah.
There's no injunction, but here we are. It's PCPer.com. I don't know what I'm saying. Sebastian Peak.
Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walworth. I'm Brett.
Yes, it's what is it today? The 3rd of January. It feels so weird to say that.
Usually CES starts today, but calendars and whatnot. But no.
That's how horrible would it be if CES was already happening just a couple days after New Year's? But it has happened before.
Yeah, it's usually when you'd fly in for a lot of those early preview stuff.
You can go to patreon.com/PCPer and keep this going. Keep PCPer's lights on. Keep us podcasting. And be like V. Lopez. And long-time member Durs. Yes, thank you, Durs. Thank you, Durs.
And Durs.
Durs. Yes. I see Durs every once in a while on our Discord, but he's not in IRC anymore. Kind of miss talking to Durs.
Long time member. Long time member.
So thanks, Durs, and thanks, V. Lopez.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And thanks to Josh for continuing to eat burgers because it's that time. It's time for Food with Josh.
I don't know what this one's called. I got to get my phone because obviously I am ill prepared. Heavy on the ill. It's the Hatch Green Chili Burger. Double mustard, smashed patties, American cheese, chipotle mayo, and Hatch Green chilies. Yes, those are fire roasted Hatch Green chilies on that burger. It doesn't, I didn't open it up because, obviously it was squished in the bag for a while, but it was extremely tasty. The double mustard was kind of a brilliant addition to it all. It really offset some of the chilies and the chipotle mayo. So it was a tangy, nicely spiced burger. And of course, if you like fire roasted Hatch Green chilies, then this is the burger for you. And someone said, I've never seen a twerking burger before, and now I finally see what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that bun is really suggestive.
That bun is split right down the middle.
Before we begin news, let's go ahead and just do our official CES predictions. CES is next week. Starts on the 8th, I believe. Do you think artificial intelligence or AI,
dark LLM blockchain AI,
will make an appearance at CES?
Yes, generative AI?
Maybe.
Yeah. Will it?
Procedural AI?
Because, all the momentum was building all through 2023, and CES, of course, being a little bit more mainstream, there's going to be a lot, just beside the DIY enthusiast PC space, there's going to be a lot of, consumer electronics companies there, home appliance companies. There's going to be so much AI.
Razer's got really bad predictions going here.
Wi-Fi 7. That's probably going to get a lot of action.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would much
It'll
rather
be AI enhanced.
Hey, I was just going to say 7. Wi-Fi 7 with AI, optimized by AI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a few video cards, a few CPUs. I mean, I haven't been briefed on really anything, but we know through all the leaks, those things are coming. So that's going to be a nice little side.
Okay, so Josh had mentioned there might be a couple of video cards. There's a shocking lack of concrete rumors out there. Like maybe these companies are actually doing a better job of preventing leaks, because you have to go days into the past or even months back to read rumors about the 7600 XT. Here is a story from Tom's Hardware from 4 days ago. RX 7600 XT may carry 16 gigabytes of VRAM like the RTX 4060 Ti. Now, the 4060 Ti, if you're not aware, is just a 4060 with double the VRAM. It goes from 8 to 16. Mm-hmm. Is that all the 7600 XT will be? Just doubling?
But what about the rumors that there's 10 and 12 gig variants as well?
I don't know.
Like, it's just weird. It has VRAM. Yes. There's some there.
possibly more VRAM than you need for a GPU of this magnitude. But we'll see.
That's just what I was thinking.
Typically,
that's so the AI can run on it.
Oh, okay. Typically, this close to CES, if that's indeed where they're going to announce this, you would have specs up on Tech Power Ups database. You'd have all sorts of stuff out there. Videocards.com would have like the GPU core and all of the other stuff. There's nothing. There's just probably 16
there'd be
gigabytes.
Takedowns. Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And what, an RX 7600 is around $250, $250 to $270. And the 7700 XT is now dipping down to $399 to $405. So it's a $150 range to get in there. And if even if it may be, well, it is going to be slower performance than a 7700 XT, I wonder how much you can kind of squeeze it up there in price, because you are getting a third more memory, 16 gigs versus 12. So it's going to be an interesting juggling act that AMD does with pricing. So,
what do you think they'll just sandwich it? Put 8 on one side, 8 on the other, no additional memory channels, same memory interface? Because that wouldn't really improve performance.
That would be cheaper to implement, but
that'd be a 4060 Ti, basically.
Yeah,
but if it's faster memory, even with 128-bit bus of the 7600, then you're going to get some improvement. But I don't know. I haven't seen any leaks that really talk about speeds and feeds and shaders, and all we know is it's a 16 gig card.
Before his departure, didn't Scott Herkelman say they were done? There was no additional silicon for this generation?
I believe so.
I thought that
it'll just be a variant of something.
Yeah.
Speaking of things we don't know, NVIDIA is teasing. There's people reporting as if this is for sure a 4070 Super, based on one image from NVIDIA's GeForce Twitter account. They're teasing something that looks like, obviously it's a Founders Edition graphics card of some kind. It's superimposed over planet Earth with the sun, creating a lens flare of how many points in the background? Maybe there's some significance to this. Count the points of light, the position of the stars.
The stars and the sky, yeah.
It's probably all here.
It's a binary code.
Yeah.
Isn't that the 4070 Ti Super that we've heard so much
I don't want to believe in a Ti Super, because it's too many things.
You might need to start
pending
believing
the end of the name.
I want to believe.
I don't want to believe that they would have a Ti, a Super.
I'm really
Super.
hoping if whatever this does, that they do in fact drop down the prices of the higher end 4000 series to something that is not ludicrous. Because $900 for a 4070 Ti currently 12 gig, and the 1200 of course for the 4080, it's just nuts. So fingers crossed that we have a little bit better pricing this time.
I don't think better pricing from NVIDIA is in the cards at CES. I can't imagine it. They're pulling down so much bank.
Yeah, but it's all in data center.
True.
And AMD right now is their 7800 XT is outselling their entire stack.
But Josh, if you look at the Steam hardware survey, nobody uses AMD graphics cards.
Okay.
Well,
at internet cafes in China.
Yes. Now, NVIDIA, like their GPU business for us, for the enthusiast, is just a side biz now. That's not where their money comes from. They will charge what they charge, and you don't buy it? Oh well, someone just bought a huge stack of our HPC cards, and we don't care. I hate to say it, but that's the way it's going.
How many 4090s end up being used for some kind of GPU compute work?
Jeez, I don't know, Josh.
Lots.
Yeah.
Lots. We haven't bought any just because, we bought 4 3090s back in the day. Yeah. And that's been good enough so far for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got one 4070 in kind of a remote computer that's doing Edge ML. But we haven't really needed to get the big iron with the 4090. But you know, maybe that time is coming, but not yet.
New year, new budget, Josh.
Yeah.
Our next news story, this comes from OC3D.net. Ryzen 5 8600G specifications leak. Zen 4, RDNA3 graphics. We may have talked about new APUs coming at some point, but at CES, according to the author of this post, we expect AMD to introduce a new lineup of AM5 processors called the Ryzen 8000G series.
Boost clock of 5 gigahertz on a G chip here. That's pretty good.
That is good.
Rumor.
And does that have
says
8 cores or 6?
6.
Well, let's see. This actually this was sourced from Video Cards.
I think it must be 6 with the Ryzen 5.
It's 6, yeah.
And then the new rumor is the 8700G with a full 8. I mean, it's a full fat with all of the CPUs enabled and all of the graphics enabled, and runs at a boost clock of 5.1.
Nice. Do you believe
that's
TDP of 665 watts on this one?
Yep.
Yeah.
The 8600.
They typically have a lower TDP on those APUs, yeah. This is only 6 cores, 12 threads, so I can see that. Interesting. I kind of believe this because this is a Geekbench
5 gigahertz.
Somebody was running this with the correct 6,000 megatransfers per second memory. I feel like this might be legit.
4 channels of memory?
Well, right, because it's DDR5. 2 16 gig DIMMs is 4 channels.
Oh.
Join the revolution, Josh. Hey, I know you love the 5800X 3D, but if you get on AM5, you'll discover that you suddenly have quad channel memory from 2 DIMMs.
Wow.
I don't know. That just sounds
how did I miss that? Or
newfangled.
did I just forget it?
You just forgot it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Brain cell death over the holidays.
They're saying the RDNA3 clock is up to 2.8 gigahertz as well, which is not bad, especially compared to the older chips.
RDNA3 likes its clock
very
speed.
reasonable, very reasonable light gaming combined chip.
Remember, RDNA3 was architected for 3 gigahertz. We heard.
Y'all remember, going back for a second, the VCSD RAM? No, nobody remembers that.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
So it was a VIA thing, virtual channel SD RAM that made transfers a little bit more efficient. You could just virtually kind of partition that off. I'm not entirely sure how it worked, but it did work. But
for a while,
it never ever went off the ground. So these chipsets had support for it. You could hardly ever buy VCSD RAM. And then, they went to dual channel DDR, and the rest is history. But now they've got 4 channels and 2 DIMMs. So it's not virtual channel. It's physical channel.
We have somebody in the YouTube yelling that's misleading. It's not actually 2 channels. Like, okay, well, I'm just telling you that's what they say. Talk to JDAC, talk to every motherboard manufacturer, talk to everybody who makes a utility that reports it as 4 channels when you have 2 DIMMs. I don't know. I did not create DDR5 as a standard.
We got to go talk to Joe.
Just telling you, it reports as 2 channels per DIMM. Our next news story, this comes from the Register. Windows 11, unable to escape the shadow of Windows 10. Isn't that because it's really just Windows 10.1? Many users are still steering clear of Windows 11 as Microsoft continues to shovel AI into its flagship operating system and prepares updates to mollify regulators. I have not read this, but this is from yesterday.
Yeah, they're up to 1 in 4 computers.
This is because of the hardware requirements.
Yes,
how many versions of Windows have ever said, I'm sorry, your recent system is completely incompatible because it doesn't have TPU 2.0?
No, you can do it at 1.2, but...
TPM.
But yeah, it's annoying, and Microsoft is baffled as to why completely changing the UI again and just randomly moving shit around and doing really nasty buggers with the registry, but that's a totally different discussion. This Windows 11 is probably one of the largest causes of e-waste that will happen over the next couple of years, because corporations are going to have to dump so many laptops, so many desktops, and on the server side, so many server chips to go up to the new server version that, computers are just going to be tossed because they will be essentially useless and they have to buy brand new ones. It's frustrating on the financial side because no one wants to have to go out and buy an entire new fleet of machines. And on the other side, it's just, seriously, this is just going to be laptops flying and ending up in giant piles in the countries that allow that.
We're ushering in the era of like $40 systems on eBay from e-cyclers, there'll be...
Yeah, but you can get Ubuntu or whatever you want.
Yeah,
run Windows 10 on it.
And have a perfectly excellent platform.
Exactly.
With a lot of
Microsoft has sort of faced the music to some degree on longevity of Windows 10. The article states they're finally bringing the long-awaited AI-infused Copilot to Windows 10. Hold your breath, no more. It's coming to Windows 10. Those of you who really, really wanted it. AI-infused Copilot on Windows 10.
It'll download
very
itself.
Very easy to turn off for your group policy.
Yep.
That'll get changed.
Don't say that. It'll make sure that Chrome doesn't launch anymore. It'll do all kinds of things for you.
Somebody's pointing out that you can do the bootable image in Rufus to bypass TPM requirement. Yes, but businesses aren't going to do that. Businesses are not going to be okay with, I just went ahead and created my own custom installer with this free utility called Rufus. No, what are you doing? Well, it bypasses the TPM requirement. No.
Yeah.
That breaks our policy.
And I got the OS image from Pirate Bay. Windows 10 will die eventually. Ubuntu will live forever.
Yes.
Or Red Hat or whatever you want to run.
I would rather run a years-old version of Ubuntu than Windows 10 or 11.
I've been trying Pop! OS for a couple of years now. It's actually working out okay.
Yeah, I hear good. I haven't tried it, but I hear good things about it, and not just from you.
It's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay.
The PCIe 5.0 MSI Spatium M570 Pro Frozer. This is a giant tower.
You want passive cooling on a PCIe 5.0 drive.
Your SSDs need the same level of cooling as your CPU because they're power hungry devices and
I mean they're pulling 12 watts through that connector, which is a little insane. Have you seen how close those pins are together?
Oh yeah.
How physically tall is this cooler exactly, Jeremy? How tall is this?
How tall is it? Well, that's a personal question.
Well, according to me, it's 7.5 inches.
Oh,
no. It is 2.75 inches tall. Or
that's
70
it?
millimeters if you prefer.
Okay. Well, it's a grower, not a shower. So
how long is an M.2 drive?
It looks about the same.
It's taller than it is long.
It's taller than it is long.
Yes.
You're saying it's girthy?
Yeah,
it's a tad. From a certain angle, Josh, it's a tad girthy.
So
is that 3 heat pipes?
I mean,
it is 3 heat pipes.
Jeez. Hopefully, your M.2 slot will be able to support this beefy little critter. Because honestly, I don't think this was originally conceived of in the spec. But if you want it passively cooled, and honestly, it could maintain wonderful temperatures, so it could probably be a little bit smaller. But yeah, otherwise, you get a tiny little fan because you'll need active cooling to be able to handle it.
This is the future that we all envisioned, right? We have a M.2 cooler piggybacking like right behind your hot GPU there. Can't possibly result in any convection.
See, this is the future Steve Herkelman wanted, and he got it. And he went skipping off on his merry way after he succeeded.
There's definitely room for a side blower fan on this. Just pointing that out.
Oh, I'm sure that they'll be selling add-ons for it.
Where does cooling for SSDs go next? Is it a full-on radiator with water cooling?
Or water cooling?
Yeah, it should be underwater. Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right.
Especially once we start overclocking our Gen 5 drives.
Yep. So the gauntlet is down. The gauntlet has been thrown. We want to see water cooling on SSDs.
But it is zippy. Yeah, they did a very good job on it.
Yes.
This one's, it's the Phison E26 again. But again, just a very good implementation of it.
Wait, so this
and
isn't
that,
just
MP700 Pro that is actively cooled.
This is not just a cooler. This is an SSD and cooler together.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was just a cooler.
Oh, no. It comes with the SSD.
Okay.
And it does completely break Shrout's Law, as you might expect.
Way below 10 cents a gig? Perfect.
Yep. 2 terabyte was ranging between 3 to 350.
That's more than 10 cents a gigabyte.
That's more.
Significantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you
RAM prices are on their way up. Anyway. I don't think we're going to see
SSD prices
much longer.
Yeah.
Should have bought.
They're 5 cents a gig there for a while. It was wonderful.
Well, I'm sure you could find a 3.0 at that price, but
I don't know. I got that next storage 4 terabyte for almost 200 flat.
nice.
Yeah. Now higher.
Yeah, now it's 4.
Yeah.
Ouch.
No,
Prices are headed up.
no, it's like 230 to 240, but
Okay, but still.
they're still affordable.
All right, let's take a trip back in time to the oldest known version of MS-DOS's predecessor, CPM, that has been discovered and uploaded. 86 DOS would later be bought by Microsoft to take over the computing world. I thought they bought Quick DOS.
It began as QDOS.
Quick and
dirty operating
quick and dirty
system,
DOS.
man.
QDOS.
Yep.
Wasn't
Tim
Quick DOS.
Patterson.
It was...
Now, I'm sure he's thrilled in hindsight, of course, that he sold it outright to Microsoft for $25,000 or something? $40,000.
It all worked out perfectly in the end.
Sure. If he just charged
Microsoft.
a licensing fee. But no, Microsoft did. They were smart. They bought it outright, and then they licensed it to IBM, and then they became one of the richest companies in the world. Some minor things
Sebastian,
were changed, though.
I thought for sure you might want to run this one. The person who just recently discovered this, which is like a very old version of 86 DOS, uploaded it for others to download and try on a virtual machine. I can't see how you'd resist. I figured you want to get it a try.
On the Internet Archive now, right?
Mm-hmm. Play the chess game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there. Includes some of the favorite DOS commands. I think check disk might be there. So, all
really?
kinds of stuff.
Even back in 86 DOS, we had check disk? That's fantastic. What the?
dir, CD is there.
Let's move to In Security Corner. Our first story, the terror that is Terrapin to ruin your new year. Already? Come on, Jeremy. It's only 11 million servers at risk.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only just over half of all the servers that they pinged to see if it was vulnerable. We mentioned this just before the holidays as a proof of concept that breaks SSH, the one thing we had left. The one secure protocol we had left, and you had to go and break it all. Now, nothing has been publicly detected as actually actively using this, and you still need an attacker in the middle. You already need to be breached for this to work. But the sheer volume of vulnerable SSH servers is terrifying, because sooner or later, someone's going to figure out a new and improved way to leverage this, and it's going to ruin everyone's day. And the patching process
Jeremy,
is not just...
11 million is low, honestly. 11 million, I think, might be low.
Well, and the thing is that Shadow Server, who I just ran into, they probably can't scan everyone. A lot of what they did was like the US, Europe. How do you get through the Great Firewall of China to find out? So yeah, I think it's low, but I think the key takeaway is just over 50% of all of the servers they scanned were vulnerable. I think that's the number to take away. So yeah, There's some patches for prefix truncation attacks, which are very easy to implement, but then you just got to sort of use and there is an open source tool to detect whether you're vulnerable or not, and just sort of keep hitting yourself until you're not vulnerable, because this one, I hope it's just one of those ones that's just like, yes, theoretically this is horrible, but you can't really leverage it. But I really worry that this is going to be one that someone's going to figure it out, and yeah, we depend on SSH to keep really important things safe.
Info stealing malware can still access victims' compromised Google accounts even after passwords have been changed. This is from the Register. Google password resets not enough to stop these malware strains. What the hell?
This is a zero-day exploit that's out there in the wild right now, and they sort of call this one an info stealer simply because it's mining the user's computer for all kinds of interesting data. And one of the things that it grabs is essentially a couple of pieces of data out of a secure store from the Chrome browser that, when put together, allows the miscreants to essentially regenerate your secure Google session token on demand. What that means is if they inject it into one of their browser sessions or anything that is pretending to be a browser, they're essentially you logged in again. No matter how many times you change your password, these two keys essentially remain the same. You have to kill all of your sessions dead in order to make this not work. So even if they've grabbed this info, even if you clean your system, if you don't force log out everything, they can still regenerate a session key under essentially your auspices and log in again as you during a browser session. Every place that you're using Google. It's a bad one.
Which says that Alphabet and Google should damn well be refreshing those keys every once in a while.
And they don't.
And I didn't have time to dig into it, but I'm suspecting that this means you pretty much have to completely reset an Android phone. Otherwise, that token's still going to be alive because you can log out, but that thing is still attached to your account.
And that's exactly what the underlying mechanism that they're amplifying is used for, legitimately by Google software that's called multi-login. It allows a lot of Google session-enabled software to use your credentials over and over again. So they retrieve this from the store, generate a session token for their usage, and then essentially actuate APIs as you. And that's what the bad actors are doing here. You have to kill your login. I believe there's a way to do it inside your Google account. You have to kill all active sessions and then re-log in or re-auth every app that's using your Google token or your Google keys or your login, all of them everywhere. That's the only way to kill this.
Yeah. State actors have got these H100 GPUs and are doing brute force ML learning on a lot of this stuff until it just finally figures it out through millions of iterations. Yeah, it's not going to be good. But it's a arms race, and we're losing.
That's why I use Cockney rhyming slang for my passwords.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Good luck figuring that one out, large language model.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Next, Spotify music converter puts users at risk. Who would have ever guessed that a service that allows you to download copyrighted music streams, it converts copyrighted music streams into downloadable files without, DRM. It's exposing 151 million parsed records with users' IP addresses, user area, user IDs, email, device info.
Now,
just
admittedly, this was only open for about 24 hours before they patched it. Yeah. Now, of course, you had to download the patch for this one, but there's a certain kind of you deserved it kind of thing going on with this. That's you are using a piece of software to subvert copyright and you got your information stolen. I don't know. It just says to me, maybe you had this one coming.
From Security Week, free decryptor released for Black Basta or Basta ransomware?
Basta, I think.
Basta? Yeah. It's spelled like pasta with a B.
I think it's like pasta.
How do you pronounce an illegitimate child?
So there were. This was from a little while ago. This is from years ago. This is they were active since in 2022, but there were a lot of unfortunate victims of this, and they were customers of ABB, Capita, Maple Leaf Foods, Rheinmetall, Falls. So a lot of European, from my perspective here. But if you happen to be a victim of this hacking crew or this ransomware, they made a ton of money decrypting people's data. But there is now recently a free decrypting tool because they made a mistake in the encryption algorithm where they essentially reused the first 64-bit seed. There was a mistake. Instead of advancing it through this seed algorithm that they had, the original encrypting algorithm that was setting you up for ransomware reused the same essentially seed key. So because it used the same seed key, that over a long period of time, meaning a lot of data, they were eventually able to reverse engineer that key, or the original key that went into it. So they built this decryption key. Unfortunately, like the first, like some number of bytes, like 5,000 bytes or something from long files, and anything that was smaller than that will be non-retrievable. But things like disk images could probably be retrieved again, and larger files like big PDFs and things like that. Something you can kind of reconstruct the headers with. The almost humorous thing about this is after this decryptor came out recently, the crew that is putting out the ransomware fixed that advancement problem with their encryption key. So anything after December 2023, anything that is encrypted after last month is now not breakable by this free decryptor. So
nice.
Apparently the hacking crews are also keenly aware of bugs once they're notified, and they're on the ball and fixing things immediately as quickly as they can.
Unfortunately, that means that XML files are probably totally screwed. And thank you, Microsoft, for moving to XML for everything.
There's a bunch of files that probably won't be retrievable, but it's essentially a somewhat good news story.
Yes, absolutely.
And speaking of good news, it's already time for gaming quick hits. As we approach 11 p.m. on the East Coast, first story, Fallout London will make your St. George's Day memorable.
It will. It's been years since this has been worked on. And it was supposed to come out last year, but they made a decision that Bethesda definitely wouldn't, which is to, no, we're going to make sure that it's ready, and then we're going to release it. It's kind of hard to even call this a mod, because as you could see from the screenshot, and for the audio listeners, there's 53 main quests, 35 side, 25 faction, 64 randoms, 16 gang quests, and 5 companion quests. Mostly because 2 of the 7 companions are non-human. Yes, one is a dog, and it's London, so you know what breed of dog it is. Somewhere around 92,000 lines of dialogue have been recorded. They've redone all the assets, taken all of the original music and from Fallout 4, which is what the base was, added 3 new radio channels, a whole bunch of new environmental music, redone the crafting system, invented trebuchets that explode and take out walls. There are elephants. It's Fallout, but in London, and it's looking pretty nice. So April 23rd, for those that aren't familiar with the patron saint of Great Britain, we'll see it released. You've got Fallout 4, so it'll be free for you. If you don't, well, don't worry about it. The map size is essentially what they're saying equivalent to the original game and the Far Harbor DLC. So it's pretty big, and it looks gorgeous. I'm looking forward to this. Unfortunately, you can still build settlements, and they've been anglicized.
And when did they say it's going to be out? April 23rd.
23.
Nice. St. George's Day.
St. George's Day.
Next up, Steam's support for Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 8.1 evaporates. We knew this was coming, but apparently new year, new OS. Sorry, you've got to be on at least Windows 10 if you're on a Microsoft OS.
New OS. Who dis?
Yeah, because otherwise you're not going to get game updates. Steam support will just, even more so than normal, brush you off. This will, of course, have an effect on, because I did check out the hardware survey for 2023, roughly 1% of all Steam users.
How many millions of people is that again?
It is a significant amount. And the best part about it is that Steam relies on an embedded version of Chrome that runs. So it's yet another Chrome skin, apparently. And as of now, Alphabet is not going to produce any more updates for it for anything predating Windows 10. So Steam said, well, all right, since we're just borrowing your web browser design, we'll follow suit, and boom, that's it, you're out. But that was one of the more interesting things, that I did not realize that Steam was actually an embedded version of Chromium running as an instance.
What isn't anymore, you know?
I didn't know it was
Firefox.
based on Chrome, but it was pretty apparent that it was web browser, or was web based.
Well, yes,
that was.
I just didn't realize. Yeah, it's the old netbook version of Chrome, except updated for a new generation.
You know, once we started getting tabs and then apps inside Chromium, you knew it was going to be an OS on an OS, and you're just screwed.
Damn that recursion.
Yeah.
Finally, in gaming quick hits, Star Wars Outlaws. It's coming late this year, says Disney. Obviously, a lot of excitement about this story.
I mean, I hope, but I don't want to be disappointed again.
Well, how did that the old Empire, or what, old Republic?
Yeah,
MMO
KOTOR?
No, well, that was the single player game, but they had a
MMO. No, the Memorca.
Yes,
Knights of the Old Republic. No, wait, that's the other one. No,
this is going to be the big release from Ubisoft next year.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's what we got to look forward to. Sorry. Yep, you're right. 2024.
Yeah, it's a new year.
Late release.
Brett,
oh my gosh.
It's upon us.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, Brett.
Welcome to 2024.
It's very exciting.
Call back to the start of the show when we talked about it being a new year.
Yeah, that is correct. We're looking at probably late 2024 to see whatever is they mean by a significant Star Wars open world game. I'm hoping for the best, but my hopes aren't very high.
Yeah, fertile minds or fertilizer? We're not quite sure yet.
All right,
Josh Stahl.
Me?
All right,
I still got a
time,
pick.
Josh.
It's time.
Run long.
It's time for picks of the week. Josh, please get us started.
You know what happens when you're faced with price increases? You buy it while it's still low. So I'm choosing these 2x16 gig G-Skill Flare X5 AMD Expo DDR5 memory modules. They're not fancy. They don't have LED lighting, but that's CAS 30, reasonable timings, Expo support. And, I still think they look nice. 32 gigs is still plenty for now. I don't know of many people that, other than serious photo editors and video editors that need more than that. I certainly don't, because I'm not any of those things. But yeah, $105 right now. That's pretty much the price across the board. And it's only going to get higher as the year goes on. So say goodbye to sub $100 fast kicks that we were seeing, like $92, $93, $95. And now they're going up. It's gone up at least $10 in the past month, and it's going to get worse.
How many channels are in there, Josh?
4.
How many? 4 channels?
There are 4 channels.
Nice.
But are those real channels? Is that misleading?
That's simulate. Are those banked? Is that bank switched? Is that what's going on?
It's four sub channels. Come on, let's get that terminology right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So it's real. It's not virtual. Okay.
It's not virtual.
Okay. Jeremy, do you have a pick?
I do. It's. Did you ever play Daggerfall? The second Elder Scrolls game.
Didn't have the chance. Didn't know it existed.
Yes, it did. It was after the arena. It is what is known as the largest map ever released for one of the Elder Scrolls games. It is 6,200,000 square miles in size, originally. And if you tried to play it originally, well, it came out a very long time ago and would drive you nuts because it's butt ugly. However, a bunch of lunatics have remastered it in Unity. So you can literally go through the original, and it was 1996 when it first came out. So an eternity ago is not exaggerating much. You can grab it as long as you have Daggerfall, which is free on Steam. You don't have to pay for it. It's just there. And you can check this out. There's a good chance you will never finish it because this was one that was made for when you didn't have much responsibilities other than school and eating, and so could just spend hundreds of hours a week playing games. It's not going to be fun. It wasn't wonderfully well done in some ways. There's just a lot of slog. And the hilarious thing about it is that there's, as I recall, about 8 different endings, all of which completely change the world of the Elder Scrolls. But because they just sort of retroacted that all in the third game, it doesn't really match. So it's okay. If you break the entire world, if you play this thing, it's okay. Morrowind just sort of says, no, there was a weird thing that happened, and now this is how things are. But even just to load it up and take a look at it will impress you because it is monstrous.
Thank you, Jeremy. Brett, do you have a pick of the week?
I do. If you're like me, and I know that I am, I think maybe you've got a home lab and you're going to put a 19-inch rack in it. And you want to rack all the things, but you're staring at your cable modem and it's this ungainly little Aris thing or Motorola thing or whatever. And maybe you've got a couple of Raspberry Pis or some small switches that don't rack mount easily. You know what? There's actually a bunch of lunatics out there who can solve this problem for you. And here's an example of one of them here, which I linked to. This is a 19-inch rack mount kit for an Aris Surfboard S33, which is a little pill-shaped thing, and Raspberry Pi connectors. So for less than $50, you can get this rack mount kit that allows you to put this cable modem and a Raspberry Pi essentially on a little platform that they've 3D printed. And you can troll Etsy and look for literally dozens of these different things that are customized to fit small switches, different Aris modems, Motorola modems, TP-Link switches, Netgear stuff. It's very clever what a lot of people have done out there. So if you're looking to rack mount all the things, there's probably a way. Here's one of them.
So many 3D printed things.
Yes. Very clever. Lunatics. Clever lunatics.
Okay. I have a pick, actually. Let me put a link in here.
That's so nice.
For future reference. Well, because it was the holidays. So
it was the holidays.
So I was actually out in
2
stores
weeks.
For one of the, the few times I ever actually get out and just shop aimlessly. And naturally, when one is shopping alone, thoughts turn to oneself and what oneself desires. And, things that might be nice for me instead of other people. So I was like, oh, wow. Okay. I was in the pocket knife section of the local hardware store looking at the buck knives and the Gerber knives and stuff. And here's a category I did not even know existed until just a few short weeks ago. Folding pocket box cutters. My pick of the week is a folding pocket box cutter. Not a pocket knife, a pocket box cutter. Now, I have actually obtained one of these in recent months, but it's pretty big. This thing is much smaller. This is from Gerber EAB Light. Hold on, Jeremy has something. So you have one of these things already. Yeah, that's similar to the one that I have now.
Yeah, I started seeing those about 6 months ago.
Yep.
People would pull them out, and it's like, is that a box cutter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a drywall cutter. Don't use it when you need excessive force. It doesn't necessarily like that.
Oh,
but for box cutting or just, opening up a plastic clamshell or something, no, it's wonderful.
Okay. The reason this Gerber one is nice is it's quite small. I was looking at it in person at a local store, and it's really small. Here's a picture of it.
Do you have to get tattoos if you buy it?
I think it's optional. This guy is obviously...
You use the knife to make the tattoos.
But look, it also doubles as a money clip.
Oh.
Even better.
Did you get the Gerber one? That's very bougie.
It's pretty cheap at the store near me. Yeah. It was only $13.
Yeah, because it doesn't come with a blade.
It's $13.29.
Wow.
So, very inexpensive. And I mean, if you're like me, you've received so many damn Amazon packages in the last couple of months, especially that
just opening them is a chore.
Yeah, opening and then breaking them down. I like to cut my boxes down before I put them in the recycle bin because it takes up a lot less space that way. So having one of these in your pocket all the time is very, very helpful in this day and age. And for $13, $13.29 for this one, it only holds
one I've got about 5 inches. So 1.5 inch.
YouTube chat suggests that the tatted arm picture is in use at your local prison action picture.
Yeah, they're easy to smuggle in to prison.
They can easily be palmed.
Special
orifice.
Really? Palmed?
No. Yeah. But the one drawback to this compared to my regular utility knife that I've been using for years is my utility knife holds like 5 extra blades in the handle. This is just one blade at a time, so that's kind of annoying, but you can always flip it around. When it gets dull, flip it.
How often do you break blades?
I don't, but I dull them because I'm cutting so much crap all the time. I can't even describe. I mean, it's multiple boxes a day. Opening, breaking down. Yeah.
You definitely want one of these in your prison pocket. Okay. So
all right. Enough of the prison stuff. All right, I think that'll do it for our first podcast of the new year, 2024. So exciting. I'm sick again after being well, just very briefly.
None of those are year rings.
All the respiratory stuff going around has hit my family hard. My wife is sick. I'm sick.
Knock on wood, I traveled through major airports and still haven't.
It's not affecting you at all. Josh is just... I need to eat a burger every day to keep the doctor away.
See?
Yeah. Do you know how much sick leave I have at work?
No.
It's like 350 hours.
Can you cash that in?
No, sadly I can't. Only vacation.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like you need to be sick for about a week and a bit.
Maybe
a week's only 40 hours.
Sick through the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, well then.
It worked for me.
Yeah, I got Josh. I got Brett sick last week. Not last week. On the podcast 2 weeks ago, he claims that I somehow got him sick because he was sick over Christmas.
Correct. I mean, you were coughing straight into your microphone. That's all I remember.
Yeah. That's what this.
But you guys use the same microphone, don't you?
Not anymore. No.
Oh no, that's right. Sebastian upgraded.
Yeah. Jeez, I keep forgetting I have to review this thing. someday when I have a voice again, I don't want to release any more YouTube videos where I sound like this. It's annoying to everyone.
Oh, thankfully, I was only flying 777s this holiday. Thanksgiving, it was a 737 Max.
All lucky sevens. Final Fantasy 7 reference.
Yeah, I got a 737 MAX 8 flight. It was the first time I was on it. It was a nice aircraft.
Oh, it was. Yeah, and it didn't crash on me in Thanksgiving, so I really appreciated that too.
Yeah, Boeing did a bad job of training their pilots on the new MCAS stuff.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, because
although offering it as DLC was also a bad thing.
The what?
Offering it as DLC was also a bad thing.
Oh, yeah. The redundancy there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
All lucky sevens.
Yes, I did take a picture of my TV when I went into a battle against Emerald Weapon with all lucky sevens on Barrett and Tifa. You do not need to adjust your set. That is real. I took this picture. When was I playing this?
You look as excited as that 13-year-old kid that crashed Tetris.
July 1, 2020 at 11:01 p.m.
That kid is a phenom, let me tell you.
He is.
Oh,
this
I don't know what any of that
Galaxy
means.
S9. This is a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, which came in handy over the holiday when my iPhone 10 from 2017 finally died.
Yeah.
And now I'm on this Android phone until I buy another.
With a replaceable battery.
Oh.
No, I wasn't playing Final Fantasy 7 on the phone. I was playing it on my TV, and then I took a picture of my screen with my phone 4 years ago. Okay. Let's end it. We didn't officially end the show, so let's just stop the recording now.